It's 1:30 and this is Observer Radio News. I'm Saeda Raghe. In the weather, it's currently minus 2 degrees outside our East York studios. Now here are the headlines. Ann Coulter gives her last Canadian speech. The NHL made a rule to knock some sense into players. And even royalty can be called delinquents, as Prince recently found out. Now to our top story. American right-wing commentator Ann Coulter received better reception when she gave her speech in Calgary last night. Coulter, who was on a 3-city speaking tour in Canada, had to cancel her appearance at the University of Ottawa a few days ago after a few hundred people showed up to protest her speech. Coulter told the nearly 1,000-people crowd that she felt safer and discussed issues ranging from diversity to bias in the media. The Toronto Star reports the audience gave Coulter a huge cheer when she suggested Calgary should be the 51st state of the United States. Coulter drew controversy when she told a 17-year-old Muslim student in London, Ontario, to take a camel when she challenged one of Coulter's previous statements. And in local news, the TTC's Yonge Street subway line may look different starting 2013. In an effort to improve safety, TTC officials have released proposed plans to install suicide prevention doors that are estimated to cost $690 million. Plans come after the TTC Commission was put under pressure to decrease the amount of tragic deaths at its stations. Funding for the platform screen doors will be included in the 2011 to 2015 TTC capital budget. The Toronto Sun reports young subway stations between Eglinton and Union stations would be first in line for the doors, which remain closed until the train car has come to a stop. It will take 6 years to install the doors on the Yonge Union Spadina line and will cost approximately $10 million per station. The TTC has a policy of not discussing suicide publicly, arguing it will encourage copycats. And students at 2 Scarborough high schools will have to wait even longer before they all attend one up-to-date modern facility building. As Observer's Radio's Billy Curtis reports, a lack of funding has put the project on temporary halt.
The dismissal bell at David and Mary Thompson Collegiate will continue to sound every day for a little while longer. A year ago, a special committee finalized plans to consolidate both Thompson and nearby Bendale Business Technical Institute. The school board says both buildings are too old, but only one is worth renovating. So plans were to close Thompson and move both schools into a rebuilt, refitted Bendale facility. The work is supposed to have started by now. But according to Scarborough Centre School Board trustee Scott Harrison, the Ministry of Education has stalled progress.
Accounting practices have changed with the ministry, and because the province of Ontario $25 billion debt, any new debt that's incurred becomes part of their debt, even though it's school board, becomes their $25 billion, we can understand. So they're very hesitant to incur more debt.
Harrison says it's all because of the Toronto District School Board's debt. It's over $60 million. Ministry officials want the school board to sell off surplus properties and lower the debt before any other projects get the green light, including this one. Harrison says there's a lot of anxiety over the merger growing in the community.
My issue is, and I think the community issue is we've done all this work and nothing's happened. And that's where, I know that there's work going on behind the scenes, but the community don't see that. That's the frustrating part for everybody.
The school's renovation committee sent a letter to everyone who lives in the area, trying to reassure them that the project has not been forgotten about. Billy Curtis, Observer Radio News, Scarborough.
That's all for the news. Here is Angela Rotundo with sports.
Thank you, Saeda, and hello, everyone. Well, it's official, and it's taking effect immediately. On Thursday, the NHLPA made a decision to allow Colin Campbell, the league's disciplinarian, to suspend players who deliver hits to the head that are a little too hard. According to the NHL, the new rule will prohibit a lateral, back pressure, or blindside hit to an opponent where the head is targeted and or the principal point of contact. The ruling will last for the rest of the season, but it seems that the new idea is a unanimous win with players and league executives. It was Matt Cook's blindside hit on the Boston Bruins' Marc Savard earlier this month that certainly sped up implementing the rule. Savard continues to suffer concussion-like symptoms and is expected to miss the remainder of the season. Commissioner Gary Bettman says that it's the right thing to do for the game and for the safety of the players. In other hockey news, it looks like the Toronto Maple Leafs keep their winning streak. The Leafs beat the Atlanta Thrashers last night during overtime, Toronto winning with a score of 2-1. It was the Leafs' Mikhail Grabowski tip during the 39 seconds into overtime that gave Toronto the victory over Atlanta, giving the Thrashers their second straight loss. Although the Thrashers started off well, it wasn't enough to keep them going throughout the game. Atlanta's Zach Bogosian scored the team's first goal in the first period, but the Leafs' Phil Kessel wasted no time tying up the game soon after. Even though this loss puts Atlanta 1 point closer to 8th place in the playoff spot, head coach John Anderson didn't feel like celebrating, saying that last night's loss was a wasted chance to advance beyond the Leafs. So up next for the Leafs is a game against the Rangers on Saturday. Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir made Canadian sports history during last month's Olympics, capturing Canada's first ever gold medal in ice dancing. But as Observer Radio's Joseph Jacobson reports, another Canadian couple finished the competition with little fanfare.
Club office manager Martha Finnerty says their Olympic success is great news for the community.
They're training here in Scarborough. They haven't gone to, some internationally renowned training center. They're skating at the Ice Galaxy that's been here since 1967. You don't need anything special. You need some skates, you need some ice. You know what? Go and skate.
Crone and Poirier's Olympic exploits have given the club more recognition as an elite training facility. Joanne DeVoe, who sits on the club's board of directors, is surprised by the newfound popularity of ice dancing in Scarborough.
Before they left, we had a send-off here, an Olympic send-off for Paul and Vanessa, and I was shocked at how many people in the Scarborough Club and their friends and family that came out to support Paul and Vanessa.
Crone and Poirier will be competing in the Ice Dancing World Championships in Torino, Italy later this month. The pair will be riding their Olympic momentum into the competition, and their goal is to finish in the top 10. Joseph Jacobson, Observer Radio News, Toronto.
And in other sports news, when you're as good as David Beckham, not even an injury can take you away from a world event. FIFA World Cup organizers are talking to David Beckham this week about having a role in the tournament's opening ceremonies. Beckham ruptured his Achilles tendon playing for Italian club AC Milan earlier this month. He underwent immediate surgery in Finland and is expected to be on the sidelines for about 6 months. But his presence during soccer's most exciting time is still important. Beckham is expected to be involved in promoting England's bid to host the 2018 World Cup. Since Beckham had been hoping to become the first Englishman to play in 4 World Cups, perhaps watching from the bench will have to do for now. Here's hoping he's back on his feet sooner rather than later. That's all for sports. Now let's send it to Sarah for this week's entertainment news.
Thanks, Angela. And here's a buzz from Hollywood. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Prince Rogers Nelson, or the artist formerly known as Prince, has been placed on Minnesota's delinquent list for failing to pay his taxes in 2009. Records show the musician owes around $500,000 US. His company, PRN Music Corp., owes a royal sum of $227,000 to the state of Minnesota. Another of his companies, Paisley Park Enterprises, is also in the red. The artist has until May 2013 to pay before foreclosure proceedings begin and the prince becomes a pauper. In local news, it's the end of an era as Metro morning host Andy Barry steps down after 15 years as the voice of Toronto. On March 1st, the CBC held an appreciation for Barry at the CBC building on 250 Front Street West. Francois Bieber reports.
About my retirement is how do I replace the stimulation of walking into a studio.
The city's #1 radio host, whose charm helped Torontonians battle morning traffic jams, announced recently he had fallen ill with Parkinson's disease, and the early mornings demanded by the show began to take its toll on the 65-year-old.
Well, one of the things that I didn't even realize until I looked back at some records last week is when I started this job 15 years ago, I went on the air at 6:15 in the morning. So I got here a half an hour later than I do now. And that really, going from 6:15 to 5:30 is a pretty big shift at that hour in the morning. It turns to when you have to wake up. So originally I woke up at 4:45, and I'm 65 and I have Parkinson's. So I think it began to feel like a bit of a burden.
With Barry stepping down, CBC's Matt Galloway, already known citywide as the voice of Here and Now, takes over the morning shift. As a city dweller, upon hearing he would be the show's new host, Galloway looks to bring his own experiences to the show, and he's excited to talk about the city he loves.
Oh, I was thrilled. I mean, I was ecstatic. If you work in Toronto on the radio, this is the job that you want. And I mean, you can go and work nationally, you can do a show that's heard across the country, but I live in the city, and I want to talk about what I see when I ride my bike to work, or when I take my kids out to play baseball, or when I am on my way to the subway. And you can only really do that.
Francois Bieber, Observer Radio News, Toronto, Ontario.
While some careers are ending, others are starting up again. Halifax-based Thrush Hermit has reunited for a final tour after nearly 11 years in hibernation. They're set to play 3 shows this weekend at Lee's Palace in Toronto. The Hermit, who never enjoyed commercial success when they were together, sold out 2 of the 3 shows. The reunion comes at an appropriate time. Plaskett's solo career is skyrocketing, and his label New Scotland will be releasing Thrash Hermit's complete discography. The original lineup of Joel Plaskett, Rob Benet, Ian McGettigan, and Cliff Gibb will play the final show of the tour at Lee's this Sunday. Stay with us, because after the commercial break, Saeda will have the wrap.
Hi, I'm Herman, one of Santa's helpers. Rudolph would have been here too, but he's getting the light bulb in his nose replaced right now. We're inviting you to Allison's Pet Center for the annual and spectacular Christmas sale. Every year, kids send letters to Santa asking for puppies and kittens, monkeys and mice. And to top it off, some ask for aquariums too. Can you imagine what the back of Santa's sleigh looks like? Come on, give Santa a break. I don't want to babysit all those animals and fishes until Christmas Eve. I want to go back to building dollhouses. Come to Allison's and save on household pets and presents for your pets. Get a head start on your Christmas shopping. The sale starts on Saturday and runs through Christmas Eve. Allison's is located at the corner of Fulton and North Streets in Petaluma. And a meowie Christmas and a Happy New Year from Allison's Pet Center.
That's our show for now. You can find more news online at torontoobserver.ca. We'll have more news coming up soon, but until then, I'm Saeda Raghe. On behalf of all of us here at Observer Radio News, thanks for listening, enjoy that sunshine, and have a great day.